Mr. Park, a new researcher from Corhesu College, plans to buy a car, but he thinks that he would not be able to buy a brand new car. So, he decided to look for a second-hand car. Thus, he tries the canvassing technique and look for a car that would fit into his budget. He visited the famous AJ CarStar, a second-hand automobile company in Digos. As listed within the vicinity of AJ CarStar, Mr. Park found this data. This is the data that he received from AJ CarStar. As a researcher, he was curious about the data he found and decided to determine the relationship between the age of a car and its resale value. The researcher collects data from 12 cars and records the age of the car as the predictor variable, independent variable, and the corresponding resale value as the outcome variable, dependent variable. Mr. Park is now torn on what to choose to test the data. To run the test and solve the problem, he has 3 different statistical tests to help him determine the relationship between the 2 variables he is looking for. His choices are person-product moment correlation, simple linear regression, and multiple linear regression. Upon checking the data, Mr. Park recalls that in choosing statistical tests, we need to meet all the assumptions needed so that we could come up to the appropriate result that we want to achieve. Thus, he remembered all the assumptions for all statistical tests and decided to use the simple linear regression analysis. But before using simple linear regression, these are the things he first considered in determining whether a problem needs to be solved using SPSS and simple linear regression. First, consider whether your research question involves examining the relationship between 2 continuous variables. Simple linear regression is specifically designed to analyze the relationship between a dependent variable and a single independent variable. Second, ensure that your data is suitable for simple linear regression analysis. Third, consider whether the assumptions of simple linear regression are met. These are the assumptions that needs to be considered. As for this, he uses the SPSS to further test the relationship between the given variables and run the data to come up with the appropriate result. To start, click the SPSS, then click the variable view. Type the age of car in the first row and resale value for the second row. Then click the data view. Copy the age of car data and paste it to the first column. Then copy the resale value data and paste it to the second column. Click Analyze, then click Regression, then click Linear on the top of the menu. You will be presented with a Linear Regression dialog box. Transfer the independent variable age of car into independent box and dependent variable resale value into dependent box. Click OK. You will end up with the following screen. These are the output of the regression. We have the variables entered, model summary, ANOVA, and coefficients.
Based on the model summary, the predictive age of car, which is the independent variable, is considered to be high because it could account to 96 8/10% of the variation and the resale value. The value of R-square is 0 and 968 thousandths, which implies that about 96 8/10% of the variation and the resale value, which is the dependent variable, can be explained by the variation and the age of car. Results from the ANOVA table shows that the SIG value is 0 and 0 thousandths, which is found to be below the 0 and 5 hundredths level of significance set for the study. This implies that overall, the model is considered to be significant and the model fits the data. The value of the data coefficient for age of car, which is the independent variable, implies that holding all other variables constant, the coefficient indicates that for every 1 unit increase in the age of car would give 1,247, which is the coefficient of the independent variable, decrease in the resale value. This implies that the higher the age of car, the lower it would be for the resale value. Mr. Johannes successfully found the relationship between the two variables and revealed these findings and recommendations. The findings suggest that the age is a significant predictor of the resale value of a car. As the car gets older, its resale value tends to decrease. However, it is important to note that the other factors, such as the condition of the car, mileage, and market demand, may also influence the resale value. It is recommended that car owners and potential buyers consider the age of the car as an important factor in assessing its resale value. Further research could explore additional variables that might contribute to a more comprehensive model for predicting car resale values. Mr. Johannes now considers the age of a car and eventually buys the car that would benefit him in the long run.